Alright folks, welcome to Hardcore Enduro, where it's all about getting out and riding the hard stuff. I'm George, the guy behind the bars and the voice behind the mic. And I'm struggling to stay on the trail. Come on, Georgie. Get your act together. You got people watching in now. Alright, we're out in Bean Canyon today. It's one of my favorite riding areas. If you guys have been to Bean, you know what I'm talking about. It's just got a lot of different terrain, a lot of fun trails going every which way. It's got just a variety of difficulty out here. You got easy stuff, jumps. They got a couple tracks that they've built some jumps into out here, and then you got your big hill climbs, sandy hill climbs, downhill. You got rocky sections. You got really tight single track. Then up top, you'll have there's a little canyon there, a creek. It's kind of a pretty good hard enduro style of creek to go through. So just some good training area. A lot of fun out here. I'm struggling. It's early, folks. I haven't gotten my rhythm yet. I know. What are you doing? You're making me look bad. Can't have that. People are watching here. You gotta look good for the camera. The video, it's gotta. Oh, the brake lever. It's too far down. So I have my brake levers just adjusted a little bit too far angled down. I need to bring them back up.
Low, and I wanted to do this on the hard enduro because you do it so much sitting on the hard enduro.
Well, I do a lot of sitting on the hard enduro. Maybe Tristan Hart stands up through the whole ride, but you know, I just play with the levers a little bit, just still trying to feel where I like them at. You know, it makes a big difference how angled. If you do a lot of desert riding, like the Hare and Hounds, where you're just standing up the whole time, going super duper fast, so I had them really set low. Yeah, but the hard enduro races, you do a lot of sitting through the rocks and stuff like that. Even the pros do. So I got to bring them back up, and I didn't do that. I still got them set low, like an idiot. I should adjust them. So I got my nephew Case with me today, and he hasn't been on the bike in a while, so he just kind of, you know, it's like, I'm not saying starting over, but you just don't have your rhythm yet. You know, you haven't ridden in a while, you hop on the bike, and it just takes a little while to get your balance, get your confidence, and feel that groove of, you know, being in the zone on your bike. So by the end of the day, he's in the zone, and I'm doing my best trying to keep up with him, and he's just taking off. But the beginning here, he's going to struggle a little bit, and you know, as most people do in the beginning of any ride, you got to get in that rhythm. Now, like I said, Bean is very sandy, and even a dumb little turn like that, if you get off the main trail, that sand gets really soft. And you think it's hard packed dirt on there. It's not. It's, you know, it's almost like a giant sand dune with a little crust on top. So I go for a little turn there and just washed out a little bit on me. So anyways, we're gonna come up here, and they got it's a pretty rocky hill. This is a pretty decent hill climb. It's not the tallest or biggest hill climb, but it does have some big rocks, kind of football-sized rocks on it. Very loose, like I said. The soil here is sandy, so anytime you hill climb here, you just got to be on the gas. You can't tractor up the bikes. Not at Bean. A lot of places this side of the Sierras here, you're either full gas climbing a hill or you ain't making it. So here it is, right there. There's Case attempt. He started out in third, shifted down to second. And I thought he was going to go, but right there he let off the gas. And as soon as you lose your momentum, you're done. So here's my attempt. I start in second. And I get off the gas a little bit. There's a big rock there. And as soon as you just see how rock it is, those rocks are giving away.
I think it's doable. This is good.
So it was the first run. I think it's doable. So I do believe I can make this. But Case, like I said, he hasn't been on the bike in a while, and I'm not trying to push him outside his comfort zone right in the beginning. You know, it takes a while for you to get comfortable on the bike. So I go back down and ask him, do you want to try this a couple more tries? And he says, not yet. So we skip this one. But I do believe that we would have made this if we would have tried, 2 or 3 times. Not worried about it. There's going to be plenty of hills to climb later, so don't get this one, no big deal. And coming down here, you can tell Jeeps and side-by-sides been coming up here. Just how it's just so sandy, so chewed up.
Really rocky through here.
Yeah, you got to watch out for these rocks. They roll on you. They're just sitting in sand, so there's nothing holding them in. So I'm doing my best to avoid them. And then it has some little rock slabs, so you got to watch out. There's a lot of this area of the Sierras, you got this hard pack, be granite under there because there's a lot of volcanic activity, and these mountains are all volcanic. So you have granite underneath a thin layer of sand or pebbles, and it can catch you off guard because you'll think that it's not slick, or it's not slick. It's just that it rolls on you. And coming up, that'll happen right here. After this little rock, see there's a slab. You can see how it's slabby under there. And my back end locks up and it just slides out to the right. My bike starts in swapping on me, so I got to pull in the clutch. That back tire starts tracking again. So we're using our pack talks. I've said this in other videos. I love riding with the pack talk intercom system. So I'm able to talk to Case. You can talk to me as we're riding. It just speeds up the ride so much. You're not having to meet each other and talk, and stop and yell at each other over your bikes. So we can talk to each other the whole time, tell each other where to go, if it's a good line, or hold up, or whatever it is. I love it. And for this style of terrain, the pack talks work great. There's not a lot of interference of objects in the way. Now when you go over a hill, crest a hill, or get out of line of sight, because they work line of sight, it'll cut out, and then when you get over and see each other again, then it connects again. Now this is their older version. They have a newer version, and it's supposed to, the new mesh that they use for Cardo, connect much better than it did before. So sometimes if you get out of line of sight for over 10-15 seconds, it won't reconnect. Whereas the new version that they're putting out is supposed to reconnect almost no matter what. So you can be out of line of sight for a couple minutes, and when you finally see that person again, it reconnects, reestablishes connection. So I have been looking into getting the next version of that. It's still, it's not perfect, yes, but it's still tremendously better than not having it at all. Because you do rides where everyone's got to stop, you got to wait for the next person, everyone's stopping at the hilltops or junctions or wherever it is, and it just makes the ride take forever, whereas this really speeds it up. There's some nice flowy single track through here. Kyle would be loving it. All these guys, this is fun flowy single track. Now right up here, there's a couple lizards out here that are really long. I don't know what it was, but its tail had to be, almost like 7-8 inches long. It was just really skinny body. I guess the camera barely picked that up, but it was long. It was like a foot long.
Little climb coming up. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I love these little short hill climbs where you just gas it and carry your momentum right up the top. They're steep, but not hard at all. All right, gonna turn right here. Now, I'm running the GX8 Dakota that I still had from the Silver Kings. It's still got a lot of life in it. It didn't get beat up too bad there. I just didn't get very far in the Silver Kings, so I didn't really see much action. But as the GX8 is great for roots and slippery rocks and very loamy soil, this sandy stuff, it doesn't perform well. So you need maybe a harder carcass tire, a harder tread tire for sure. And the bigger knobs, the better out here. Because like I said, a lot of these climbs are just super sandy, and to get that kind of paddle action you get out of a sand paddle, you need that. Now we're climbing up here, and there's going to be a hill where I just don't have it full gas. I need to go full gas on this climb right here, and I lose my balance, not centered on the bike. And there's a lot of rocks rolling here, a lot of little baseball, tennis ball sized rocks. See, I need to be on the gas here, how low the RPMs are. Not getting traction. See, I think that JX8 just not grabbing enough. I'm telling Case to just fly by me if you can. Still going though, and I pulled off to the left here, and then I knew I wasn't gonna make it to the top, so I had to pull left. I'm gonna side hill it around.
You do better than that. That was shitty.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. I had that really poor start. Here to get that RPM up. Trixie, she just wasn't she wasn't having it. So I'm gonna side hill around, which made me think about something else here. Now we'll do it later. A lot of side hills. So in hard enduros, you have to side hill a lot of the course, and no one practices side hill. You know, it's because it's so hard. And usually the only time you practice side hill is when you're stuck or you can't get up. You know you're having to do this. But I need to practice this because being able to do this efficiently would save me a lot of energy and a lot of time. Rich Larson, the RC tire guy, he did a little video on practicing side hill, keeping that rear tire weighted, keeping that front tire kind of uphill a little bit.
Yeah.
Here comes Case now. He's going to be on the gas.
That's good right there on the gas. Yeah, buddy.
This is how I should have been,
Yeah,
but I didn't.
Easy. Look at that. Woo.
Now he's running the M5B, so I switched tires with him. He's got my tubeless rear with the M5B on it, and you can just see that M5B, it is a good, it's just an awesome hill climbing tire for this sandy terrain. Now for the rocky stuffs and creek sections, the M5B isn't the best tire, but if you're just doing hill climbs or even just, you know, a desert, hair scrambles, M5B is a hard carcass tire. It's got really big knobs. It's gonna last a while. So it's been a great tire for me. It's kind of one of my go-tos. Now, for hard terrain, for hard enduro, you're gonna need some type of gummy. And there's many brands making gummies now, and I'm sure there's a lot of good ones. There's cheaper ones. There's really expensive ones too. And the JX8 I use in Silver Kings. I did like it a lot. I didn't get to go through the really bad creek section that looked like a lot of fun on some of the other guys' videos. I think that would be where the JX8 shines, would be that wet creek section. For the hill climb, like I said, it's got the smaller knobs. It's not to me, I compared to the M5B, which is gigantic knobs. You know, it just doesn't do good for the hill climbs. Now you can get like the V33S, and that has much bigger knobs. You know, a Michelin or something that has a bigger knob. That's still a gummy, but you know, much taller, bigger knob. I think next year I'm gonna go probably to Silver Kings with that, because there was a lot of hill climbs there that I think the bigger knob tire would do better.
Might have been where we came down with Jace. Yeah, this was. It looked familiar.
Yeah, this is a nice little ridge line going down. It'd be fun to go up this too. It had some drop off, some rocks on it.
Good call. Engine off.
Engine off. Yeah, when it gets a little hairy, I like to turn the engine off and just stay in control. I'm at my skill level isn't good enough where I can just bomb down here and be confident in the bike. And I was thinking about, like, the lever controls is one. My lever's just not in the right angle. And then Yamaha, we don't got the Brembo brakes. especially for the 450, especially the WR 450. It's a heavy bike. It takes longer to stop. So the lighter bikes, and then the lighter riders, you know, it's just total weight. It's your bike weight plus your body weight. You know, it's just mass moving to stop mass. You know, it's like your car. A big rig takes longer to stop than a little car. And that's just how physics work. Physics is against me on my downhill. That's why my downhill suck. It's physics. This little ridgeline down is pretty fun. Very flowy. You can tell Case is starting to feel that zone because he's starting to get out.
That means it's going fast, folks.
Yeah, he's going faster than me. I gotta catch him.
You always got to get that first hill climb out of the way. It builds your confidence.
Yeah, I was telling him he made that hill climb and did it really good. It just something about hill climbing. It makes your confidence go up when you get over a hill, climb up a hill. You're like, yeah, got that. You feel like you can just tackle anything. Look at this really gnarly downhill, really rocky.
Ooh, nice hard enduro right here. Oh shit.
Hey, don't get off the trail there. Stay on the trail there, Georgie.
I'm all over the place. Can't control, Georgie. Whew.
I come down here, got a nice little climb up to the left. Well done, Case. You just hit it. Bike's getting pretty good traction through here. So you can tell that not as much sand right here. Like I said, Bean Canyon area is a lot of sand, but there are some areas where it gets really rocky and a little bit more loamy. Nice gnarly rocks through here though. Come on, get through there. Hey, Case, he's in the zone right now. I'm struggling to keep up with this guy. Here's old miners' road. So some of this, there are some mines up here, and it's just crazy. Like you can tell, this road was cut out. Like, people put in a lot of work. Everywhere we ride, you know, in California especially, just a lot of mines all over the place. You know, miners back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. God, they're crazy people. The amount of work they had to put in, and probably very little payoff, is just, it's unbelievable. But thank God for them, because now we're dirt biking on their old trails. Out there, straight ahead to the, like straight ahead right there. That's actual Bean Canyon on the map, and that's usually where I park my rig. They got a little staging area there. A lot of people camp there. And down the flatter area, that's where they've got some tracks, jumps, and you know, people come out and shoot their guns and stuff like that. There's always someone shooting their gun in the desert. Every time I ever park, I turn up the rig, it's quiet, I can hear pop, 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 pop. There's always somebody shooting in the desert.
It don't matter. We'll go down and then we'll pick a line and start going back up or going across.
See, I'm just talking to him. The guys don't have an intercom system. Gotta get one. It just speeds it up. See, he doesn't have to wait for me. We're just talking to each other.
There's so many different lines you can take.
Yeah, we're just is just kind of playing follow the leader out here. Any way he goes, you know, just follow him. So I'm trying to keep him right there so I can, of course, get him on video. But just a great area. I love areas like this where, you know, when you go trail riding, some are like specific trails. You got to stick to it. and if the trail sucks or you just get tired of it, there's no way to get off it. Where you come out to these areas, you know, you might see a crazy line going up that hill, or you know, maybe that's too much, so you can pick a different one. I just love how there's so much, there's so many options for you to just ride however you want to ride. Now that run up to the left, not the one straight ahead, I'm gonna come down here across a little creek and hit that one that was back on the left. Now, it's not a big hill, but I come in and I misshift. I'm still having a problem with my boots. I misshift, hear me go into neutral. Right there. And then I stepped on the brake as well, so then I lost all my momentum, and the hills are steep. And like I said, you gotta be full gas. There's no tractoring up these hills. You gotta be full gas to get up here. And so I stopped right here and I think, do I need to go back down and make a second run? And I saw the rocks. And I said, all right, I'll be able to get traction. And that's where like the JX8 is doing me a favor there. So the JX8 definitely is getting traction right there. I was able to keep going though, didn't have to turn around. So well done. Good job, Trixie.
That was good. Actually, right before the hill started, I stood on the rear brake until they killed me.
Yeah, well, you went into neutral and then hit the brake as well. You did two bad things. Two no-nos on hill climbing. Number one, don't go neutral. Number two, don't hit the rear brake. You gotta just be on the gas. It's probably my first time riding a dirt bike, I think. I didn't do my best today. It wasn't on my A game. But I think it's still good for the conditioning. I don't think my skill was helping me today, but definitely my conditioning. I felt a lot better than I did at Silver Kings. So just having some fun here, really flowy, little ridgeline single track. It's fun, you know. I love the hard stuff, but it's nice just having some flow, some airflow, getting some little jumps in here and there. And I like it all, except for the whoops. No one likes the whoops. But that seems to be that is one thing that the desert has the most of, is whoops. Just from the wind and the sand, it just naturally, they start forming on their own. It'll just be a flat ground there. You come back next week and two little whoops already start forming. They're growing. I think whoops grow. That's what they do. They're the only non-living thing that just keeps growing. I guess like a volcano grows. It's a whoop just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Got a little steep creek to cross, and we're gonna start heading over, crossing over, and then we're gonna start going uphill. It's like I said, there's no main trails. It's almost like open riding area here. You can go almost any direction you want, but there's trails everywhere. And sandy washes. Try to avoid the sandy washes. You know, they're my kryptonite. We got these on the Hare and Hounds. I hate them so much, the sandy washes. I go for the turns. You watch the 100 sprint enduro that I did. All the turns in the sandy wash areas, I couldn't do them. Alright, Case goes up a little single hill climb there, making quick work of it. Looks good.
Well done.
Well done, sir. It's actually a pretty steep drop off right here. Oh! Alright, my turn to go up. Oh, and of course I get off the line. It's my thing. If there's a line, I figure out how to get off it. Make it harder for myself. I'm all about that hardcore enduro, you know. I got to make it as hard as possible for me. So it was a nice little trail. We go up here. It gets really rocky towards the top, but man, Case just taking off. So good for him. I'm really proud of him. Just really
I see ya. I'm coming.
getting after it. He's coming after you, Kyle. Kyle, you're watching this. Case is coming for you. I'm telling you, he's going to be at your level pretty soon. This is good right here, though. This is like a hare and hound material. They should have, somebody needs to do a hare and hound out here. Or an enduro race. Maybe Bean Canyon would be good for an enduro race. It really has a lot of flowy, fast enduro type of terrain. It does have a couple hard sections I could throw in there just for fun. And then it has a lot of access, for spectators. If you want to go on a side-by-side or, right up to the top of the hill and watch the riders, I think Bean would be an awesome area. Now it's BLM, so I don't know what regulations are on that. It's not a designated. All the other races we've done are designated off-road areas for California, and they got to pull permits for that and work through the probably EPA and whatever else they got to work through. But this would be an awesome area for a ride or a race. All right, so we're up at the top of the hill, and there's a bunch of these little side trails everywhere, and you got to be real careful because it's, like I said, it's very sandy and loose and soft. So if you don't carry momentum up, you lose your momentum and you just dig a hole and you're stuck. So that's what's going to happen right here. You can see he's just dug himself a hole. And you can fight it and fight it and fight it, but
yeah, they get so soft and sandy.
Yeah, you're better off just picking a different line, side hilling out of here, or turn around, go back down, either make another shot or just pick a different line. So I saw this little one. This is an old one, and it looks more like a little deer trail than anything right now. I mean, it's like a little squirrel trail. This is where it comes back to. This is actually good practice. I need to force myself to do this side hill a little bit more often. Now I am thinking about what Rich told me of trying to don't let that bike lean into the hill. Try to keep up. If you let the bike lean in, the tread of the tire starts digging in, and it actually makes it slide out. So you want to keep that bike a little bit more upright. Keep that front end a little higher than the line, so it's always trying to do a little climb as you're going side hill, and it's always trying to climb up. Otherwise, if you keep it straight on the line, that
high ridge line,
that tire will fall. The rear tire will fall down.
Very good. Keep that tire up. Get the high tire up. Yeah, buddy. All right. If you go off a cliff, I'm going too.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going where you're going. If you go off that cliff, I'll follow you. Anyways, we turned around because it was just getting really hard to keep side hilling, and I'm like, this is good practice, but we're gonna kill ourselves out here just trying to get off this side of the hill. So I did pretty good. Look how I went through that pretty smooth, really gentle on the throttle, feathering that clutch, trying to prevent any of that rear tire spinning out. See Case there, top right, he just points up, gets on the gas, starts out a little squirrely, but the M5B just grabs and goes right on up. I was like, all right, I gotta go over and catch him. Still side hilling it, it's still very soft through here. Try to get a little bit of speed going, and there's just these little dips here, and it makes me, right here, that little dip, that dip, makes me lose my balance, nose into the hill, totally stops me. You can see his run, and he goes up right there. So he just went straight up right there. I'm impressed. I'm like, I don't know how he got that bike to grab, but it did. So I got to come over here now, get up on this higher trail, and then flip around and head on up. All right, now we're back in business now. With the whoops. like I said, practicing that side hill, it's a valuable technique, especially in hard enduro. You will be using it's like pivot turns. You will be using it at some point in the hard enduro of the race. You're gonna have to side hill out of a bad area, get over to the main line, or get off. Just whatever it is. It's a good skill to have in the toolbox. Alright, we're going to keep heading uphill. We kind of speed up a little bit. We'll hop on this main ridge run here with all the side-by-sides going on it. Really whooped out. There's a little sneaky side one here that I'm going to take. I'm going to hit this one. Let's go. Just got to stay on the gas. That soft sandy run there, but mix it up pretty easy. Hop on maiden ridge route again. Like I said, it's really whooped out. These are called whoops, folks, from Colorado and Idaho that just run those nice groomed trails. You guys probably got whoops too, but not like the desert. All right, we finally get up to the secret little hard enduro creek.
We'll go through the creek. It'll be pretty good.
So I've been through it before. Case hasn't. And I was going to go up this today, but Case hasn't been out here, so I said, well, we'll go down it just so you can see what it's about.
I was going to try to go up this today if you didn't come with me.
Yeah, I just said that.
Just go down first so you can see what it looks like.
I just said that too. Gosh dang it. I hate when I'm thinking what I'm actually saying on the video. It's my mind, it works the same. You can just tell what I'm thinking, narrating is what I was saying at the time. Right, so it's a sneaky little hidden trail. So you go through this little
creek, and then you just go down with it.
Yeah, there's a creek coming up here, and you just pop down in there. And in the beginning, it doesn't look like much. Like, you're like, why am I going to go down that creek?
See where that drops down there, and then we need to get on that one. I don't think we did. Well, maybe. I don't think we did because there's a hard part up here.
Yeah, you guys haven't been down here. Anyways, but I've been down there. Yeah, there's some nice hill climbs too, so you can just full gas and go up that. Very sandy though. You can't underestimate how soft and sandy these climbs are. You gotta just be like full throttle going up them. But he's looking for a route down there, and I'm just like, yeah, just drop in that.
Just gotta drop down in there.
He didn't believe me, so I'm like, yeah, just go down. You just get down in that creek. I know it doesn't look like there's anything, but trust me, you gotta get down in there. And then he does a classic,
nice.
Classic move right there.
He's stuck. You need help? I ain't gonna help you until you say you need help.
That's right. Got to be tough on these youngsters. Can't just pave the way for them the whole time. Got to learn how to get out of a bad spot. All right, so he drops down because he lost his momentum. He rode the bike down, hopped on. The bike was off, so he wasn't able to ride up the other side. So now he's kind of stuck down.
To hard enduro mode.
Yeah, that's right. Hard enduro is coming up. So he's stuck down in the creek there.
Pretty good out here in Bean Canyon. They got, other than it's just super sandy everywhere you go.
All right, shut up. I'm trying to narrate here. So I was telling him, here you can push and fight, try to get up that side, go around that tree, or you can backtrack, go up, back up the creek and get a running start, have some momentum, and you'd save yourself a ton of energy. So that's what he does. Got to work on those pivot turns. He hasn't been riding for a while. This guy, Case, when he was riding almost every day after school. He was riding wheelies. He was doing jumps, landing in a wheelie. He was doing really good. Nice. There you go.
See how much energy that saved? You could have tried to go up, and you would have been pushing and pushing. Think outside the box, get another run, and then you just saved yourself a ton of energy.
Yeah. It's all about saving energy in hard enduro. Being efficient. That's why my go-to, my mentor, the guy I look up to, Graham Jarvis, he rides like the most efficient out of all the riders. He ain't as fast as Tristan and Manny and Billy Bolt, but he is definitely more efficient than they are. All right, we got a little side hill action once again. Keep waiting that outside peg. Kind of doing a little dab with the inside foot there just for balance. And we get through over here, and he could have just went straight down in the creek. It is steep, like the GoPro doesn't show you how steep it is, but where he goes, it's really steep right there, and it just drops right into that little V of the creek.
Holy shit.
And you got those two bushes right there, and I don't know if they're hiding a rock or something.
Sketchy.
But it's steep. You just got to let the bike roll and just ride it right down into that creek. Like that. All right, well done.
There's going to be a big drop off up there.
All right, up ahead, there's going to be a series of little rock waterfalls, and they're like 7 foot to 10 foot kind of down. Not like cut waterfall, but it's like a slanted rock slab fall.
Coming up, there's gonna be like a 7-foot cliff.
Yeah, it's actually a series of them too. It's like 2 really big drop-offs. All right, gotta squeeze under the fallen tree. All right, he goes up to the right, and then I ask him if I can go straight, and he says, yeah, there's a log, and I was like, yeah.
Right, or I gotta go up to the right.
So he tells me to go straight. See the pack talk. I'm telling you, the pack talk's nice. So he says, yeah, you can go straight. There's just a little log there. And I saw this. I was like, really? This is what is making people go around? I'm like, this is just a little log. All that log practice paying off, folks. Get that front end. It is at a weird angle, but I know I can get through this. So I was like, all right, no problem.
It's gonna be like that.
All right, just got to have the weight back. Put my weight back, move my weight forward. You saw that. I didn't drop the clutch quite hard enough, but I could have just given it a little bit more pop. But yeah, you get your weight all the way rear fender, stand on the peg, throw your weight forward, drop the clutch, and get that rear drive, pops the rear tire over. You guys have seen the training videos, so every time I do that, I'm thinking about the training videos that I've seen, and it's starting to click. It's starting to get better. I'm definitely not afraid of logs anymore. Like I used to like avoid them, like how the trail went around the log. I used to be that guy, but now I'm not. I see a log, I'm like, I can do this. I'm not afraid of logs anymore. Talk that game, and then the Silver Kings, that first log on the pro log, the little enduro cross section. The first log I got hung up on. I was so pissed. But got through it pretty good. And then the tire section, I practiced on tires too. Tires that are bigger than those tires, and I totally just botched the tires, botched the logs. But I didn't do bad. You watch some of the other videos, there's outtakes. People were going over the handlebars or ghosting their bikes over the logs. It was the bronze class that was going. It's just, there was people wrecking their bikes, and the race hasn't even started yet. It was fun to watch.
I think this is it. Who knows? Maybe it got washed away and eroded or something.
Yeah, I thought it was closer, and I was like, man, we did have the record snowfall and rain. Maybe like there was a mudslide or something and washed it away. But no, it's just a little further down. It'll be coming up here real soon. A lot of this little zig and zag winding through the creek. Like you wouldn't think as much, and then here it is. Here's where it starts. So that's a big drop right there. It's about 6-7 foot down to where it goes flat again, and then it goes flat a little bit, and then there's another huge drop.
Ghost it down.
So I'm trying to talk him. I tried to talk him riding it down, but he didn't want to do that. So I said, all right, we'll just let the bike go down. And so I was teaching him this technique that I saw from the cross trainer enduro guy, the Australian guy that does his videos. Showed you put the front in, and then you put the back in. You slide that back in over so it keeps the bike kind of upright. There you go. Just slide it down like that so it doesn't flop over, you know, bend, break your clutch lever or something like that. It's just a nice little slide down there. It's not upside down, you know, making you work harder. All right, now it's my turn. So I talked a big game about just riding the bike down, so here I go. Gonna write it down like a pro.
Almost had it.
Yeah, you didn't have that, buddy.
I would have gave it a little gas. The front tire would have landed a little farther out, then I wouldn't have gone over. Oh, well. Wasn't bad.
Actually, it wasn't bad. It looked worse on camera, but it really, during the fall, I didn't feel, I mean, I knew I was going over, but it wasn't that bad, other than I hit the rock right there. But no injuries. Now, what it was, I didn't preload. I should have came in a little bit slower, and I could have preloaded.
Pick that little line right through there.
The shock, and then give it just a little blip of throttle to pick that front end up so I didn't land so vertical, nose down, and that would have been fine. Now, you can't have too much speed because you got this next drop off, and that's kind of what I was worried about.
Then it'll get easier.
All right, so here's that next big drop off, and there's a tiny little lip there down there. You can see there's a little cut in the rock, and I'm going to show him how to place your front tire, place the rear tire, and then walk your bike through. Now, there's a fallen tree there, and that wasn't there last time I came through, so I went left before, and it wasn't as bad, but that tree's there now, so now it's forcing us to go right, which is a little bit steeper, a little tougher.
Now we're gonna hold the front brake.
It's got that front tire placed where I want it, got the rear or the front brake on, and I'm just picking up the back now, placing the back tire over. So the bike's just not totally vertical nose down. It has a little bit of an angle. And then just slowly going to ease the bike down, keeping it balanced, keeping my balance. There's no rush here. Don't want it to flip upside down in that tree and just be a mess of a time trying to get it out. Nice and easy there, Trixie. Nice and easy. It's like walking a horse through a trail. She'll do it. You just gotta talk her in, keep her nice and calm, and she'll get it done. All right, we're down. Safe and sound. Look at that, folks. All right, we just got one more little fall to go down, but I'm going to help Case
take your time,
get down.
Get your front tire placed where it needs to be, and then swivel your back tire over. There you go. You're on the ledge. Now you can just kind of pop it over a little bit.
Yeah, I was saying his front tire, he missed it. It needs to come in towards the rock a little bit more.
Nice and slow.
So there he goes, and then he put his rear tire over, doing exactly what I did, using that little rock ledge.
Where it needs to go. It's all right. Keep your front brake on. Get reset.
Yeah, just take your time, keep your balance. You know, sometimes it gets in your head. You start losing your confidence. And that front tire is starting to slide out a little bit on him, so I just helped him give it a little tug up.
Try to keep the bike a little bit more upright.
Yeah, so he's leading his bike too far in. You know, it's natural. You want to lean that bike in, so if it falls, it just falls into the rock. But it gets less traction. You actually got to push that bike more upright. And like Rich Larson would say, you weight the outside of the peg. You got to keep that bike up so it gets more traction. It's easier to balance too.
It's still possible. You're just gonna maybe need help.
All right, so there's that third fall area, and he's doing the harder line there. It's really steep right there, and I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna keep that back end down, because if I didn't hold that back tire, it would just do a front flip right now.
All right, reposition your body. I'm holding down the back.
Wonder how like Graham Jarvis would do this. You know, that would be awesome to see his commentary or see what he would do in this type of situation. You know, we ride these real world scenarios, and it's not always a perfect run up or perfect rock setup or whatever it is. You know, how would a professional go through this? I'm no pro at all, but I try to use a lot of common sense, and I'm trying to think of like the best way to get us through without without breaking anything and saving a lot of energy. You know, you don't want to end up upside down, bike pinned you. You don't want to break anything on the bike. I really like Rich Larson. He did the 5 miles of hell video and kind of did a walkthrough of the hard section, so I do like that. And he needs to do a lot more of that. I think that would be awesome, doing the real life, going to a lot of these popular areas that are, you know, everyone's doing on YouTube, and just kind of walking, you know, amateurs like me through it. Like, how could I get through that? I think it'd be awesome. I got a super low log here. There you go, Rich. That's another one. You need to do a low log crossing. Like, what's your technique for squeezing the bike through? A lot of times I like to keep the engine on, keep the clutch, and then I'll just feather that clutch and let that back end walk itself through. That seems to work pretty good for me. I like to see what the pros would do. Yeah, the pros, they just do a double blip, jap, zap, splat, bap, bap, and go right over that log. They wouldn't go under it. Going under logs, that's beneath them. That's for the amateurs like me. Coming up, there's a fallen tree in the way. You got to cut right, and there's a spot where Case, he cuts close in and turns. It gets right next to the tree. I'm gonna steer with my rear tire, get my rear tire up higher. See, I go outside, and then I can cut back in, avoid that bush. Those little training tips coming back. You know, you gotta steer to the rear tire. You want to place that rear tire where you want to go. Another fallen tree there. There's a couple spots where you had to go high up the side of the bank there, get around an obstacle, and because it sloughs off so soft, you really got to be smart on your throttle, plan your momentum to get up and around these obstacles. And all that comes into play on the hard enduro. Like Silver Kings, there was so many times there'd be a root or an obstacle in the way, and instead of trying to clean that obstacle, if you just shot high, you could totally avoided it. I didn't do that, but I was thinking about it. All right, here is a good little lunch stop for us. We had lunch right here. There's nice rocks to sit on. It's cool in the shade, and there's a little breeze coming up the canyon. And now we're back on our way. We're heading back to the truck now. Got probably about, I don't know, 4 miles to get back to the truck. A couple hill climbs, and then most of it will be kind of a downhill back to the rig. Got the creek. Still, it gets overgrown over here. Not a lot of people go down here. They stay on the hill climbs, the ridges. So this is kind of the hard enduro folks that find these little creeks to go down. Man, I would like to try going up this. I mean, going down, gravity helps you out, and that is good training. But going up is would be the hard enduro way to do it, and especially with those big rock waterfall areas. That would take some skill, and it would be a struggle, but I think I can do it. All right, coming up here, there's another little drop off. This one's only about 3 to 4 feet, maybe 3.5 feet, and Case doesn't want to go straight over it. There's not a lot of landing room, so you can't just send it off the edge there. So he goes left, but then it's a sharp little rutted creek. So he goes left, and then he's got to turn the bike around right, which he gets it done. And then I'm going to go straight here. Now, when it's about a 3-foot drop, 3.5 feet, you can get away with just going over the top and letting it roll down. I know it feels like you're going to go over the bars, but as long as you let it roll.
Yeah, I just went over the top.
Yeah, buddy, it just goes right through that. Not like how the 7-foot drop was back up the creek where I went over the handlebars. When you got a 7-foot drop, you got to be able to pop up that front tire, give a little throttle. Just, you know, I should have compressed the suspension, give it a little blip, and pop that front end up. It doesn't need to be much. It just needs to be enough so that the bike isn't coming down just straight vertical and sending me over the handlebars. Right here, you can see the trail starts getting really overgrown. In case he's just looking around because it's just the bushes have grown out so much that you can't see the course. But I'm telling him, you just keep going down the creek and just be careful. There could be, some rocks or something sticking out in the way. So just take your time going through the bush, which he does. Got another little tree to go under. I'm gonna hit up Rich. I don't know Rich at all, but I'm gonna leave a comment on his videos. He always asks, what you guys want to see, and I know he has not done a log crossing where you have to go under a log. So I want to see what his opinion is on going under a log in different levels. That one you can just kind of bend down a little bit. But other ones, you got to lay that bike all the way down. It's like on a vertical hill. He can find the different scenarios. And I know he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And you guys do too. When you come on the trail and that log is just covering the trail and there's no way to go up. And you don't want to go down because it can be so soft. It'd be hard. You go down, you might not be able to ever get back up. So you got to snake that bike, squeeze it through underneath the fallen tree.
Ooh, someone got off there.
Yeah, he did. He lost his balance.
Ooh, that's soft.
There's no saving it either. Once you get off the line, you gotta just keep going down. All right, right here's a sharp right. And Case is digging a nice old big old trench for me going up the hill, and I know it's soft. And I cut a little high. I was trying to avoid his trench, and then my front tire hit it, and it just lost my balance a little bit there. Now that deadlift belt's gonna come in handy. So many times my bike is upside down with the wheels high side, and it's like maximum effort of picking the bike up. Normally I would drag the front when you hill climb, you just grab that front tire and drag that front tire around. But on this side little, narrow little hillsides, you don't have that option. So then you just gotta pick that sucker up, and that's why I wear the deadlifting belt. I've never seen anyone wear a deadlifting belt, but I do. All right, look at that. Case resting.
Dumped it left, so my bike's.
Yeah, I had to deadlift it up. This all day. Every time I ride with anyone, I do all the extra work, and everyone just rests ahead of me, and then I catch them. As soon as I catch them, they take off. I never get to rest. It's no resting for Uncle George here. Creek's starting to get some more water in it. I would have liked to have been here maybe a month and a half ago. That would have been a lot more water probably. 2 months ago, there's probably still snow on top of the peak up there. So this creek would have had a lot of water. That would have been a lot of fun coming through here.
Creek's getting more water.
It's a sneaky little creek. Like, where's that water coming from? I know the water goes through the soil, mountains, and y'all know how that works. It's just amazing. It was totally dry, and now, by the time we get to the end, there's a good little flow of water going through. A couple little sneaky logs down there. Went right, and then you got some rocks hidden in the bushes there. I think today we rode about a little over 3 hours. Felt pretty good. I didn't feel so super exhausted, wasn't so exhausted. I've been doing a lot of push-ups. I've been doing squats, body squats, dips. And my triceps are killing me in those downhills. So my triceps are out of shape. So I'm definitely gonna work those up, and then also the legs. So I'm doing the body squats, and then I'll do heavy weighted squats too.
Should've went high.
Oh yeah, to the bushes. It's like that snowy trail where I was just mowing down bushes left and right. Alright, now the creek's got a little stream of water flowing through it. Went from totally dry, now we got a little flow of water. Nice. At least there's no poison oak though. About a month ago I did this trail called Snowy Trail, and there ended up being a lot of poison oak on there, and I got poison oak on my arms and my legs, and it took forever for that poison oak to clear up. I still got the scars from it on my arms. I get poison oak. Some people don't get it, like my mom, she don't get poison oak, but I get it, and luckily it didn't spread all over my body. Sometimes that poison oak can wreak havoc and go all over the place. Already got a little side hill ledge. You gotta stay right on the line because it's so soft and sandy. You get off the line, and then I know it's just a little creek bed, but I'm treating it like I was on the side of a massive hill. That's when it matters. And you don't want to get off the line when you really got a steep hill left and right. So it's just good practice, forcing myself to stay right on that line. You know, on the Silver Kings, there's a couple areas where you get off and your bike's down 20 feet, and you're in a world of hurt unless someone's, you know, you got to get a crew to help you get out of that bad spot. So it's just good practice, trying to force myself to stay right on the line. Like that.
Yeah,
got off. Yeah, stay on the course. I've just been talking you up, saying you're staying on the line, then immediately you get off the line. Alright, we got some hill climbs coming up, and here in Bean, it's like Jawbone. You got sandy hill climbs, and you got to be on that throttle, be on the gas, giving it the juice, and if you get off, you're done. So it's just, you're just digging a big hole, and the GX8 just doesn't have the big tall knobs. I know I've been saying that all video, but you gotta be giving it the juice. Alright, I'm gonna pick a different line, try to go a little fresher track, get the speed up. Come on, Georgie. And then here, I underestimated, or not underestimated, it started crests over, and you start thinking, alright, I can start pulling back a little bit. And that's a mistake. You gotta just be on it all the way to the top. As soon as you start pulling back a little bit of the throttle, you're done. You just start digging a hole. Anyways, side hilled out of there, got back onto this main line, and now we got another little steep little climb right there. Yeah, he did. All right, case is up. Now it's my turn. Come on, Trixie, let's go, girl. There it is, keeping the speed up. It's a little harder packed because you're on like a main line. When you got on those fresh, hardly ridden side hill lines, that's where it's really soft. The main trail routes, you know, they get a lot more packed down.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I can't stand the line. I talked all that game back in that creek about staying on the trail. I'm always all over the place. I gotta work on my balance. Maybe I'm gonna blame the heavy bike. It's the 450 working against me. I talked about that physics. It's just more weight, it's more to control. It's working against me. All right, let's go. Look at this nice climb here, a little rocky right there at the top. Oh, lost the momentum. See, I'm digging a hole. How am I gonna get out? Do a little rock back. All right, little rock back again. See, it's just digging, but it's able to track up just enough here. It is a little bit hard packed. If I was on the side, there'd be no way. I'd have to turn around, get out, and give it a second shot. But the main trail, just a little harder packed. Meanwhile, Case gets the rest. Dang it! He's running fresh. We went back and the water pack. I drank all 3 liters of my water. I think he only drank 1 liter. So it shows when you're not working as hard, you don't need to drink as much water. That's one thing on the Silver Kings, and most of my rides, man, I'm just working so damn hard, and then I'm drinking all my water. So then that makes me carry even more water, which is more weight. I got 3 liters, plus I carry 2 extra bottles, and I'm like, maybe I should just carry a whole extra 3-liter bladder. So much weight in my back, and then it makes me work even harder because I got all this extra weight. I need to just become a better, faster rider, and then I could carry less water and be less work. I need to think about that. Alright, let's go, Trixie. It's not a hard hill climb here. Just stay on the line. Catch up to Case. Don't let him have all this extra rest time. He's making you look old. He's way up there. He's already past the next hill climb. He's in the zone right now. He's just taking off. He's on a WR250. It's a 2007. And it just shows me that so much of your riding is your skill level and your conditioning level. You know, it's just not the bike that the cross trainer enduro channel where he always says it's 20% bike, 80% rider. I firmly believe that. You know, when your conditioning's up and your skill level's up, you can ride almost any kind of bike. And these older bikes are still very capable. And even having the smaller bike, you know, I got a 450. He's got the 250. His 250 still very capable, able to do everything I can do with the 450 here. Now he only weighs about 155 pounds, so his body weight to power is probably very similar to mine because I'm at 220 with the 450. So it's a little, it evens out, I'd say. All right, we're almost back to the truck. Just some more downhill. You can see we started to the left there where the road goes through, and then went all the way around the hillsides, went up the crest of the hill down into that hard enduro creek, and now we got a nice little downhill. I need to get better at my downhills, get the speed up instead of just creeping along like a turtle. The Silver Kings and even some of the Hare and Hounds, they got these long downhills. Holding the line up, everyone's trying to get around. I got to pull over and let people pass me going downhill. I need to be more confident, more comfortable, you know, letting the bike go down, trusting the tires and the suspension, and then picking good line choices, avoiding the rocks that'll roll on you. Alright, lad, we got one more little climb right here. I thought we're done with all the climbs. One more little climb though. So he goes left, and then he doesn't go all the way to the top. He makes another left, which I thought he was going to go to the top. I was in the zone. I just couldn't get out of the hill climb mode. So I was a little disappointed all day from not making these hill climbs as good as I think I could. I like hill climbing, and I think I'm pretty decent at it. So here we go. But this one isn't too hard. It is pretty steep though. But I get her. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, boy. Phew. Where'd you go? You went left? All right, coming back.
All right, see the intercom system's working. See, it's worth it. You know, now there's no trees, but it would still go through the trees. It's when you get out of line of sight of the canyon or curve. But get up there, able to just talk to him, and it makes the ride so much nicer as far as knowing where your guys are at. It speeds it up. You're not having to yell at each other or wasting time backtracking trying to find the guy that's lost. I think it's worth it. It's a little expensive. It ain't cheap. You know, they're $270 a unit maybe, and $600 I think if you buy the dual pack. The new ones I think are like $650 or something like that. It's expensive, but if you have a riding buddy you ride with all the time, it's worth it. It'll save you time and make your rides a lot more enjoyable in the long run.
You're fine.
Yeah, it's more of that downhill. Not too hard. See, I need to get faster on this. Just going a little slow. It is soft and sandy here, and it is late in the ride, so I just don't want to make mistakes. A lot of this sandy stuff too, you can wipe out, wash out really easy. Just tuck that front end over. If you lock the brake up too much, it'll just dig in that sand.
I think that it all crosses over, I believe.
So I just told him go straight. We'll just keep going sideways instead of just going down. It'll go down, then you get into this creek, but you get this little side hill, and this is fun right here. Just a little up and down, hitting the side hill. This is where you balance, staying on the line. We talked about staying on that little ledge, you know, just for as wide as the tire is. You don't want to get off the line. Keeping your balance. Got all these windmills out here destroying the environment. The environmentalists, they don't like us out here. They're trying to make off-roading illegal everywhere we go, as they're saying we're destroying the environment. But I see all those windmills, and I see all the service roads cut, and all the hilltops they flatten out so they can put a damn windmill up there. I hate them. The future of dirt bikes in California is just going to be a dirt bike trail through a windmill. It's going to be a windmill farm that you're riding through, dodging the blades of the windmills that come down. It'll be like the gauntlet. All these windmill blades going to be coming down, taking riders out left and right on our electric dirt bikes. They better put some charging outlets on those windmills. They should have a little charging port. So when we're on our electric bikes, dodging windmills, and our batteries run out because they only last for about 20 minutes, that we'll be able to plug our bikes in and keep on riding. Telling the future of dirt biking in California doesn't look good at all. It's not that bad. What are you griping about? Couple whoops on the backside, keeping you honest. Even at the end of the day, gotta throw those whoops in there, keep you honest. Aha, see, he didn't get that big of a break this time, even though I got no break. Well, about 5 seconds. I let him get ahead. Little rocks to snake through on this downhill. It is pretty steep. Now I've gone uphill here, and the uphill climbs, it's a lot of fun too. Another one of them, you just got to be on the gas. It's a long hill climb too, so it'll wear you out. But be on the gas until you make it to the top. Because once there's a little drop down there. Once you lose your momentum, it's just hard to get started again in this soft, sandy soil here. Alright, y'all, we're going to bring this video to an end here. It's been a blast out at Bean Canyon, one of my go-tos. It's a fun, open riding area. And Case definitely getting back in the zone on his bike. Is looking good. We got the next big race. Will be the Donner Extreme Hard Enduro. We're looking forward to that. We'll have some training coming up in prep with some log training. We'll do some big boulder training, some rock slab, high altitude, because Donner's a high altitude. It's gonna be some good stuff. So until the next video, get out, ride, and get some. Ew!